Welcome to the collaborative. I'm your host, Sydnee Walker, along with Marquette Walker, serving as guest co-host. Today, we are joined by Brantlee Fields, head of athlete partnerships for Twitter. She works directly with a wide range of professional, collegiate, and former athletes to help build their personal brands on the platform, educate them on new products and opportunities, and help them pursue new ways of engaging their fans. Brantlee has a long history in the sports industry, having worked in athlete-focused roles across marketing, branding, and management over the past 8 years. Welcome.
Hi, friends. How are we today on this glorious Tuesday?
I am doing well. Can't complain.
I love that.
So first up, we have Sid's This or That Atlanta edition. So first up, Chick-fil-A or Zaxby's?
Oh, Chick-fil-A. Chick-fil-A.
I'm with you. Chick-fil-A all day.
But don't tell my friend Parker Lipman that. He actually owns Zaxby's, but it's still Chick-fil-A every day.
Hawks or Falcons?
The Hawks. Everybody knows I'm a Carolina Panthers fan, so hate y'all every day.
Downtown or the Beltline?
Midtown.
Okay. I'm choosing the Beltline, but I respect your answer. And last but not least, Lil Baby or Young Thug?
Oh my goodness. Young Thug pays the bills, but Lil Baby's on top right now. But it's still free YSL.
I'm with you on that. Thank you for your answers.
Hey, Ms. Brantlee, how you doing? I'm Marquette. Nice to meet you.
Hi, how are you? Nice to meet you.
I'm well. I just want to say that was a flex when you said your friend owned Zaxby's. That was a huge flex. 100%.
Listen, anybody working on some NIL deals, call Parker at Zaxby's.
100%. But yeah, to kick things off, right? Let's talk about your Georgia Bulldogs. Last year was their first national championship in 41 years, and for you, what was it like to experience that moment, not only as a UGA alum, but as someone coming from the perspective of opportunities, as it opened up opportunities for athletes to work with you?
So I had been at Twitter for about 2 months. I was very blessed, actually about 3 months. I was very blessed that UGA went all the way because I actually got to experience it as a fan and as a working woman. It was the most incredible and memorable experience that I've had working in sports, without question. Obviously, I came from the agency side, so I knew most of the guys that were already playing in the game because I was at that point, I was recruiting them. So being able to experience it with them was pretty incredible.
So Brantlee, you got your start in the industry through Katrina Leonce, who took you under her wing and taught you everything you need to know. How did that representation and mentorship early on in your career help you to get to where you are today?
I think it's really important as people of color to align yourself with people of color that are really, really excelling in the industry. She was one of those people that literally saw the potential that I had and was like, okay, no, I want to put my energy into her. And that's what I'm trying to do with other people that come behind me, because like I've said before, like she opened up doors for me that I didn't even know existed. I was in rooms that I didn't know existed. And I want to be able to do that for the next person.
I love that. That's awesome that you got that as you started your career with so many women in sports in the room today. It's awesome to hear that you're paving the way for the next generation.
Well, you got to think about it. At that time, almost 10 years ago, there weren't people of color doing sports like this. It was a very white male driven industry. So for her to even have a place at the table was huge in its own right.
And just to kind of piggyback off of that as well, Ms. Brantlee's like, now I feel like women are kind of taking over the industry. You know what I mean? And that's a great thing. I mean, look at Sydnee, right? Look at you. You know what I mean? Look at these women in here. I think that's a big thing and a big contribute to how much work you guys have put in over these years of finally breaking into the industry. So no doubt. One of the key roles of your job is educating athletes about the most effective ways to use Twitter, right? Other platforms like Instagram or TikTok is all about seeing the athlete as an individual, whereas Twitter is more about speaking your mind. So how can athletes use this to their advantage, especially when so much of a brand relies on actually having to see a person?
So I think it's twofold. So part of that is the creating your own narrative. Athletes are always given a bad rap. So you may see them, you know, do something terrible in like on the field or off the court, whatever. But that's what the media paints as who they are as people, which is not even remotely the way that it works. So I always tell the athletes, like, come to Twitter to tell your story. Come to Twitter to actually like be your one true self. Because as much as we love the pictures, it's a picture, it's a flash in the pan. Twitter is actually your own voice. So if you can stay true to your voice, you're going to be connected with more brands because brands are going to see the way that you tweet. So you're already creating brand partnerships that you didn't even know existed. You're creating another fan base that you didn't know existed because now you've got, because now you've got fans that maybe are football fans, but now you like F1. Well, now you're bringing in F1 fans to love a sport that they might not have initially loved.
And speaking of branding, we're in this new space with name, image, and likeness. We've seen many athletes secure lucrative deals across the board. What has been the biggest change in working with collegiate athletes since they now have that monetary component tied to their brand?
This is tricky. Not everybody deserves to have an NIL deal. And what we're seeing is boosters tying pretty little bows around what they call an NIL deal, but it's really just a collective of people spending a bunch of money to get players to the school. So as much as I believe that college athletes should get paid, I think there needs to be a limit. And maybe if we had like overarching law or something that really made sense across the board for every single sport, both male and female, we would have a better like control over what the NIL space is doing. Unfortunately, that's like not where we are right now. But yeah, the NIL space is it's ever changing, and as much as we want, you know, these athletes to get paid, it's a little bit difficult right now. The waters are very murky because you see the top college athletes getting paid millions of dollars, and then you've got guys that are at HBCUs inking 70 plus deals, but those deals don't result in actual monetary value.
And even now, people, when they would leave college early before, they're like, hey, I can make more money in college. I'll stay a fifth, sixth year instead of going to the pros. So it's just crazy how this is all working.
And sometimes that doesn't even work. Sometimes that doesn't work. I think we were all at a disadvantage with the COVID year. That took a lot of people out of rotation. So I know that they're still trying to figure out ways to do that because there's guys that have been in college literally damn near 6 years. It's crazy.
Absolutely. So I read that one of your favorite moments in your career thus far has been helping to bring Derek Jeter to Twitter. When you have an athlete of such influential nature like him, what do you and your team prioritize in order to get them on the platform?
Derek Jeter, what a guy. Derek is a special case. He is a guy who's been notoriously quiet throughout his career when it comes to media. So being able to bring him on to actually tweet and enjoy the platform was really, really special. Obviously, you guys saw the Captain documentary that was on ESPN. That was a way that we could kind of bring that whole documentary to life. So we had spaces with him. We shot fan tweets with him. He was able to comment and interact with fans while they were actually watching it. And I think he's one of those special cases that somebody of his caliber actually enjoyed being on Twitter. Because there are guys that you get on Twitter that don't really want to use the products, but he actually enjoyed it, and being able to, you know, interact with his fans in a way that we've never seen before was really, really special.
That's really good to hear, and that's such an awesome project to work on. And going off of that, is there anyone you've ever brought on the platform and they're kind of hesitant? You're like, this could help your brand, but they're not really sure. And just kind of how did those conversations go?
Stay tuned. World Cup is looking really special right now. So there's definitely somebody that I'm working with right now that, if all goes well, should break the internet.
All right, looking forward to that.
I think considering like social media and everything, especially Twitter, I think there's so much that happens, right? And goes down on Twitter. You got funny stuff, inspirational stuff, negative things, you know, like it's so full circle. And sometimes people like get lost in it, right? And so with this question, in such a fast-paced industry for you, in a job like yours, it's always important to prioritize your mental health, right? So when you're not working or preparing for a big event, what are some activities that you like to do? I see you got, oh,
Right here.
okay.
They call me Young Cabernet in the street. Don't even worry about
Okay.
it. No, obviously we love a good wind down. But I genuinely love sports. Like when I go home, I watch sports. Like I want to watch everything that's happening. We got baseball, although the Braves were fooling around today, child. They were fooling around. But that is something that I enjoy. So even when I'm at home, I like to wind down with sports just to like stay in the know. And it is very comforting to me. Outside of that, I do a lot of solid core and I sleep.
Lastly, you've mentioned how important it is to be inclusive and bring others up with you throughout your journey. What's your one piece of advice to a group like this that's looking to add value as they go throughout their careers?
Find someone in a role that you aspire to be, align yourself with that person. And as much as I hate to say it, your reputation is really important in this industry. Like you never know who someone else knows. So be mindful of who you surround yourself with. Be mindful of the people that you align with. And if it's somebody, obviously I was very blessed with Katrina, like that does not happen all the time. But if there is someone, like a Nicole Lynn or a me or anybody, like definitely communicate, reach out. Like it is so easy for us to get wrapped up in our everyday lives, but like looking at people from afar, we're all just people. So have that connection. Make sure that you're tapping in, going to networking events.
Absolutely. And I always tell people the worst someone can say is no. So just reach out. Like you and I connected over social media. You just never know what
100%. Yeah, look at me drinking on your podcast.
I love it. Brantlee, thank you so much for taking the time out of your busy schedule to join us tonight. You're doing amazing things for women in sports and with Twitter. So it was great learning from you, and I really appreciate your time.
No, I appreciate you guys for having me. If you want to drop, actually, I can do it. I'm going to drop my email in the chat. So if anybody has any questions or wants to talk further, I'm always here. I'm just an email away. So I'm happy to help and connect you guys and point you guys in the right direction.
Thank you guys for joining, and thank you, Marquette, for co-hosting today.